This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
We get to talk with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. Hosts 6 to 9 Monday through Friday on WNSR, the king of college football talk. And a lot of our listeners really enjoy your visits here, Bill. How you doing today?
Hey, guys. Doing well.
Good, good. So Arkansas, Alabama, watching that game, what did you glean about both teams?
Alabama is very gettable, very human. I don't think this Alabama team beats any Alabama team Nick Saban has had, except for the first year, 07, when he took over for the big mess that Mike Shula made. From 08 to now, this team right here wouldn't beat any of them, including the three-loss 2010 team that was probably his biggest knucklehead team. He just couldn't get to them. They're very human, very beatable. Now, again, guys, they may go 11-1. I don't think they will, but they're capable with the schedule they have left. They got Tennessee at home. They're favored by about 10 there. There's not a big talent disparity between those two. But, you know, Arkansas had their chances, but you don't get any points for close calls, and you got to figure out a way to win these kind of games when you're coming back.
Well, who do you think has the best chance to take Alabama down? I thought about Tennessee.
Oh, easily LSU.
Well,
LSU,
that's who I thought.
If they're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alabama's going to have trouble with Jake Daniels and those receivers. Now, let me say this. This Alabama defense is improved from a year ago on every level. They're better. They're sticky. They're solid. They're fundamental. But their offense is light years from where they need it, and that's not getting fixed this season. You don't get that fixed in Week 8, guys. Week 8, you are what you are.
Well, and that being said, it looks like Arkansas is going to be without their All-American running back for the foreseeable future, and he's been kind of out the whole year. But that being said, going up against this Mississippi State team at home, can the Hogs get their first conference win this week?
Absolutely. I think they will. I think they should. They're the better team, and Mississippi State's been decent at times this year. I've watched them on and off throughout this season, but no, this is a very winnable game. Let me also say this. If Arkansas loses this game, I don't want to make too much out of one game, but it's a horrible signal if so. No reason to lose this ball game.
It's very true. I mean, I haven't even thought of it that way. I think we've kind of been going over it like the Hogs are going to show up and do what they have to do and protect home field and get a victory.
Agreed. I'd be shocked if that's not what happens. I think they'll play well.
Bill, you were high on Washington a few weeks ago. I asked you your top four. Do you think Michael Penix, is he the favorite right now in the clubhouse to win the Heisman? And what did you think of that game? That was two good teams.
Fantastic ball game. Lived up to the ranking, lived up to how they'd been playing, lived up to the quarterbacks, lived up to the wide receivers. Fantastic. I would say, yes, if we stopped it today and voted, he'd probably win it. I don't think anybody's playing any better than Jaden Daniels, but they've got a couple of losses, and the voters don't like that. But, yeah, I think if we had to go today, he'd be the winner.
We've made fun a little bit of the idea of doing away with divisions, but, you know, in the last year of the Pac-12, they don't have divisions, and there's a very good chance to see a rematch between those two teams. I mean, to me, that's the reason why you did away with divisions moving forward in the Big Ten, to maybe see Ohio State and Michigan play against each other for a second time for the conference championship, not just for the division championship. Do you like that idea? And do you also expect that you'll see Oregon versus Washington again, because they do look like the two clear-cut best teams in that league?
Texas and Oklahoma, of course, it's been one division there.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's probably what we're going to see, a repeat of that game. Oregon and Washington right now would be the overwhelming favorite. Southern Cal still, Lincoln Riley still refuses to field a defense. And until that's the case, I don't think we have to take them seriously as a big-time playoff threat. Now, with 12 teams next year, maybe so. Caleb Williams will be gone, but they have Malachi Nelson, who's a five-star quarterback sitting there waiting to play. But Lincoln Riley, at both of his stops to date, has not played a lick of defense. Apparently, that's not on the agenda.
Bill, you know I'm a James Franklin fan. You got the big one this weekend. You can kind of break it down for me. Who do you think wins this Penn State at Ohio State matchup this Saturday?
Very winnable game for Penn State. I don't necessarily think they'll pull it out, but a very winnable game. Now, Ohio State, let's look over. Jim Knowles has been there over a year now to fix that defense, and I think they've gotten better. Remember, they weren't playing too well on defense there for a stretch last couple of years. They're better on that side of the ball. They're not better on the offensive side of the ball. You can't be. Can't be as good as you were. The other problem Ohio State has is their best backs, Travion Henderson, the Williams kid, Igbuka at receiver, those guys are very questionable. And that is a good receiving core. Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably playing at about 75%. They've got a fantastic tight end in Cade Stover, who will probably have a big game. James Franklin's road record, ranked team record is not good, unfortunately. But on paper, it's a very winnable game for the Knids.
So Brock Bowers undergoes surgery for a badly sprained ankle. It's the kind of surgery that says he'll be back in 4 to 6 weeks. I guess you usually take the long look on these kind of things. So there's a chance he doesn't play for the remainder of the regular season. How does this affect Georgia's offense? I would assume it has a pretty deep and profound effect.
He's going to get, or he had tightrope surgery, and 4 to 6 weeks. The thing about that is, let's just say he does get back for the postseason. That doesn't mean he's back to where he was. It just means he's back. That's hard. Cedric Tillman had that for Tennessee, and he came back after about 4 or 5 weeks, went a week, and then had to sit 2 more weeks out. You don't know what you're getting there. In the perfect Pollyanna world, he's back and playing that well. That's very unlikely as far as his performance level. Let me also say this, guys. There's not a team that's a national championship type threat that could lose a bigger player than that. You can't. There's not a bigger player that your roster can ill afford to lose than Brock Bowers. Now, they've got dudes, but guys, think about it. Back in May, let's say, when we're looking at Georgia's schedule, maybe at Auburn, maybe the Tennessee game, but probably not. They're 12-0. Now look at their schedule. Florida and Jacksonville, I don't think is a gimme right now. Georgia's clearly better. They still have to play Missouri at home. They get Tennessee in Knoxville. They still have to play Ole Miss. That's not as easy as we thought, right? They've got some bumpy territory to absorb to get through this thing. Now, they should win all those games, but you're losing the best playmaking tight end that I've seen in modern history in college football. You just can't replace him.
Yeah, I made the joke earlier today that he could be starting for the Dallas Cowboys if they need a little tight end help. But I think he's gonna have a lot of fun on Sundays. That's for sure. Does Alabama, are they still worried about the orange tee? Now Texas came in and beat them. Can Tennessee go into Tuscaloosa and give Bama a conference loss?
Yes, but I don't think they do, because they won't play the best quarterback. They're playing Joe Milton, who's, I think, the worst quarterback in the SEC that started. And they've got a superstar All-American over there sitting that I think would be impactful immediately, and they won't play him. You got to remember that. The only reason Hendon Hooker got on the field was because Joe Milton got hurt. Yeah. They determined Milton was a starter. Now, guys, what they saw in practice, I've got no idea. And I also want to say Josh Heupel's done a really good job there, but what he's doing at quarterback makes no sense. Milton cannot locate the ball at all at times, and he has no situational awareness. In the last game against A&M, it was 3rd and about 8. Play breaks down. He rolls out. He's got clear sailing to get past the chains. He runs out 2 yards short. He has zero situational awareness. Guys, 2 years ago in the Ole Miss game, Hendon Hooker got hurt. He went in last series. Tennessee's on about the 10-yard line to win it. Last play of the game, doesn't chuck it up in the end zone. He runs out of bounds. I've never seen anything like it.
Tell me about what's going on in South Carolina here. Defensively, you got to ride, you got to catch there, Bill. joking.
It's a drug bust. They got me. They got me down. I'm trying to get away from it. I'm walking away from it. It's not helping.
Oh, it's tough to get away from sirens. It always is, no matter what. South Carolina struggling a little bit here. 41 points allowed to Florida. And it's not like that Florida offense has been a lighted up kind of an offense. What's going on with South Carolina's defense? Because the last 3 years seem to have gotten worse each season.
They don't feel the defense. They must be watching Southern Cal film. They don't. Now they have significant personnel shortcomings. They're not really good anywhere on defense. They're up 9 late, fourth quarter against Florida. Can't hang on. Can't close that game out. Their offensive line isn't very good. Now, their offense is pretty good. They're good at receiver. The quarterback's been pretty good. Spencer Rattler is pretty good at running back, but they just can't stop anybody. But I like Shane. I've known him a long time. I do not think ultimately 2-3 years down the road he survives.
Their receiver Liggett, he's going to play on Sundays. That dude's the real deal. No, yeah.
They have brought in lots of good receivers. The kid that's down there at Florida State, not Keon Coleman, but the other one, that was a big-time player they got from a small school. He's from the DMV area, though. They've had lots of dudes at wide receiver. The starting running back at Southern Cal is a transfer from South Carolina. So Marshawn Lloyd, who's also a Washington, D.C. area kid, and left South Carolina. South Carolina had a kind of a uprising a year ago because everybody hated the offensive coordinator, so they ran him off. But a bunch of kids transferred because of it.
Bill, what do we have on Mizzou in South Carolina? Mizzou looks like, who knows? They look really good right now. They've only played 3 conference games.
Right.
The only loss coming in that shootout against LSU. But, we kind of think of Mizzou sometimes, and I don't think they are this year. Ball control, just kind of run it. We saw that a couple of years ago, and they didn't have much of a quarterback-receiver combination, but they have that this year with Brady Cook and Luther Burden. And, Burden didn't even really do much this last week, and they still took care of Kentucky fairly easily.
It's a good ball club. The last 2 years, remember 2 years and beyond, they were terrible on defense. Literally horrible. They've mended that. They're solid on that side of the ball. They'll hit you, too. And they have weaponry. Brady Cook, I think, played. He's certainly a top 5, top quarterback, top 4 type quarterback in the league, the way he's been playing. Burden is a nightmare. You cannot possibly contain him. He's a speed, green grass nightmare. And I think it's going to get pointsy. South Carolina's going to get their points. I just don't think it's enough to win that ball game.
Does Eli have that program where if they have the kind of season that it looks like they may be on track for, that potentially could stabilize there? Because people joke about Missouri and be like, well, they do have a couple of East Division championships, and they've been a good SEC team, not a great program. They haven't been a bad program, but they've been good. Do you think Eli's got them where they could kind of stay at this level for a little bit after the fourth season?
To be determined, but it's possible.
Wow.
Got to remember, this last year they adopted an in-state rule about name, image, likeness, saying that high school kids, when they sign in-state, could get paid immediately. So if you sign in December and you're not going to be there till June, you start getting paid then. That's an advantage. They also have another rule they adopted which says nobody can come investigate them. That's state law. NCAA cannot come in there. You're not welcome here. And I think it's making an impression. There's a 5-star receiver in the St. Louis area that is looking hard at them that they may end up getting. And they weren't getting that kind of kid before. It's possible. It's possible. Now, this year's their first good year in a while, right? So we need to see the follow-through, but it is doable.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.